Now, my friends, I know that you don't want to hear this, but I'm going to try this anyway. I'm going to try my best to explain this very fascinating issue as to debates, who wins, who loses, what you have to think, what you have to believe, what you have to kind of look to. And there's a balance. It's like you know when you're riding a bike, you don't realize it, but you're always balancing. You don't recognize this. You're shifting weight back and forth, back and forth. And it's a very, very important thing to do. And that's what you have to do. You have to know how this thing works. And you have to know kind of what is happening at this point. But the thing you must avoid at all cost is self-delusion. You cannot be deluded. You can't fool yourself into thinking that what you want to happen is going to happen. And then you also can't paralyze yourself into saying, well, none of this matters because, after all, this was the George Carlin idea. Well, all you're doing is you're just, perpetuating this, and it doesn't really matter because the people who really run the show aren't there and blah, blah, blah. Let me ask you something. Do you think that Donald Trump had any effect on the election last time? Do you? Do you think that when Donald Trump was running, that he had any effect on changing the course of the government? You do realize that the drafters of the Constitution would tell you, we don't want anybody in particular to be in control of everything. We don't want everybody or any politician to actually seriously be able to change everything without the effect of the other sides of the triangle, namely Article 1 and Article 3, Congress and the courts. So you know that, right? You do know that the president is limited. The president is limited. The president is not a king, unitary executive notwithstanding. You do know that. Because there are people who come around and go, well, it doesn't really matter. The president doesn't make. You don't think the president, do you think Joe Biden has helped or hurt? You can say, well, it's not really Joe Biden. Okay. So what would you like to do? Would you like to elect the people who tell Biden what to do? Yes. And who would those people be? Who would those people be? So let's get it all out. Let's get it all out in the open. Let's do everything in our power to make sure that we're not in any way saying the same usual trite stuff. Okay? Let us try. Please let us try. Let us try to, just, what am I trying to say? Let us try not to fall prey to the usual stuff that we have to deal with, okay? That's all. Let us try our very best not to fall victim to this, because it's very, very, very difficult and very tough and very sad and very, how do I say this? It's very difficult. And I understand this exceedingly, okay? So let's just get this out of the way. Let's just get this out of the way and look at what happened last night, okay? You ready to do this? Good. Now, I want you to do me a favor. First and foremost, I want you to make sure that you like this video. This is important, very, very critical. Very, 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 very critical. Number one. Number two, that you subscribe to the channel. Absolutely, absolutely critical, critical, critical. And also, before we begin, I want you to take note of something which is very important. My friends, the thing that you could be doing right now, that thousands and thousands and thousands of good Americans have done, especially as we look at the first day of the last month of this year, is to listen very carefully to what I have to say about the incredibly important and drastically critical world of food. Listen to me carefully. Listen to me carefully. Listen. Listen. Pay attention. Patriot, the world at every level and facet is in peril. Everything has changed. The Great Reset is here. Just look around you. You must become more self-reliant and sufficient and secure the future for your family. Act today with My Patriot Supply. My Patriot Supply is the country's largest preparedness company, and it's more than equipped to stock your shelf. Their best-selling 3-month emergency food kit provides delicious breakfast, lunches, and dinners that last up to 25 years in storage. And right now, listen carefully, it's $200 off. That's right. Get over 2,000 calories every day. Just add water and heat, then eat. Make sure every member of your family has a 3-month food kit from My Patriot Supply. Go right now to my special website at preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com for $200 in savings. Be sure to order by 3 p.m. for free same-day shipping. It's best to have emergency food and not need it than to need it and not have it. Take $200 off right now at preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com. Write this down, commit it to memory, preparewithlionel.com. Okay, let me ask you a question. First question, ready? Because I'm going to start off the way everybody else does in the world of politics. Who won last night's debate? Who won it? Let me let you know. Speak up. Who won last night's debate? Who was it? Give me an idea. Who was it, my friends? Who was it? Who was it? I'll give you a second because there's a tad of a lag. And please, I need likes. I need 200 likes. What's going on here? Come on, what's going on? Who won last night's debate? No one. KNOWONE. No to no. No one. No. I like that. Interesting. Very interesting. No one. There might be a pun there somewhere. As a Cali resident, DeSantis. Who watched it? ? Are you kidding? I never even knew there was a debate. Never say that. Never laud. Never take pride in ignorance. Never do that. Sorry. I didn't watch. Okay, fair enough. Okay. Did you watch any of it today? Did you see a snippet of it at all? No, you should have. Let's talk about Barack Obama, the real threat to America. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know how to address that. Barack Obama? That's what? What? I refuse to watch those 2 opportunistic viruses. That means I'm lazy. I didn't want to watch. It's not that I refuse. Listen to this. And please, I know this sounds harsh because it is. DeSantis won. Okay. Finally, somebody answered the question after how many? Okay. Fair enough. What do you mean by win? Who won what? The answer is Fox News. 53% of voters are women. Unless voters for unless voting for security, safety, the vote will go to Dems. DeSantis needs to point out crime and his concern. Okay. I do not have television. We'll watch clips later this morning. Well, you don't need television. This thing you're talking to me on now probably is a phone or a laptop you don't need TV, right? You know that. I just want to let you know. Haven't had the TV on since we got to the Keys. You know we're not talking about TV, right? Let me see. Hello. This is 2023 December, and we don't have to go to the Motorola. Okay, you know this. DeSantis, when he could get a word in. No, you're saying you agree with DeSantis. What do you mean? Who won the debate? What does a debate mean? Fox News won the debate. Fox News. That is the last ditch effort. It's over. I mean, I was watching Hannity. He's been around for a long time, and there's just I'm just getting that kind of like, okay, I'm habituated to it. Yes, do not need television, which is why I don't have one. Okay, good. Now we're into this. I don't have a TV. This is see where we are? This is the side issue. We're talking about debates, and somebody's saying, I don't have a TV. I don't have Facebook. I cut the cord. It's not about you. Sean was worst moderator. I don't even know what good the moderator does. It's like a referee for Harlem Globetrotters. I mean, does it matter? You think the referee is going to? Doesn't matter. I mean, it's all kind of staged anyway. Let's look at this. So who won? Come on, let's talk about this. Please focus. And I need likes. I need 300 likes now. What lapel pin did he have on? Okay, we're not getting to this. We're not. See, we don't know this. So do me a favor. You haven't thought about this. And this is why I'm here to help. And this is important for us. And please read along. And I hope those of you reading this, maybe you're listening on a car, but I want you to hear this. These are the people who say, not only do I want to be a part of this, but I want to participate in the actual live feed. And so far, I'm hearing nothing. Do you hear what I'm saying? This is, and I'm not trying to be unfair. This is where we are. Newsom because he's taller. You see what I'm saying? This is just, nobody knows what they're talking about. I promise you, this is a problem, not those two. I don't think anybody really understands what's going on here. They don't. I was reading a Twitter X this morning, and it was just, let's make fun of the poop grid. Did you know about that? Did you hear about the poop grid? Anybody? Did you hear the famous, the poop? That's going to the human feces grid and mapping. Did you see that one? Everybody loves a good poop joke. Did you see that one? Anybody? Just nod yes. Did you see that moment? Because you could tell DeSantis, he has this, I showed you. Let me ask you something. Did any of you up till now review any of this? Well, let me rephrase this. Don't take this the wrong way. Do you know anything about what we're talking about? Do you seriously? And if you don't, what are you saying? Yes, I saw the grid. It was a bit funny. Thank you, Carly. It was kind of funny. Now, what DeSantis would say, he couldn't say this. He goes, yeah, that may be the human feces grid. But if you want the bullshit grid, it's redlining right here. Ha, ha, ha. Because people love poop jokes. Americans and people of all ages love poop. Okay. So far, nobody saw this. We have people commenting, and you never saw it. Newsom won. He came across as smooth, well-spoken. He controlled the pace, and how he wanted to answer the questions. He turned attacks on himself against DeSantis quite easily. Okay, front porch conservative. I like that in as much as you've given it some thought. Yes, I have been aware of the poop grid. Cali residents are well aware of it. Okay, Cali. I have friends in Cali, and when I hear Cali, my skin crawls. It's one of those words, like a term of art that I use all the time. And I got it. I saw as well Ron DeSantis saying that Gavin Newsom's father-in-law now lives in Florida. Okay, does that mean anything? Does it? It's kind of a zinger. Okay. Actually, haven't had time to research it since I got up. I'll check it out when you're finished. Okay, good, fine. Now this is what people walk. You do know that Gavin Newsom's going to win, and this is the best part. Okay, the real important part. And by the way, this is a very good question. The real question is why those two were on stage together. It's a very good point. You know, and I know that our good friend, Mr. Newsom, is going to say, wait a minute, when I told you I was not going to run, I said I would not voluntarily run myself. I would not enter the fray. I would not enter the fray. I wouldn't do it. However, something's going to happen to Joe Friday. Something happened to Joe Biden. He's going to get sick. He's going to get COVID Pneumonia. Notice how they're getting the pneumonia thing ready. You see that? That's coming. But we'll see what happens. He's going to hit his head. He is going to say something like, I realized that when I ran for office, I would never do anything to be an impediment or a distraction. I love this country. And I've devoted 50 years of my life. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. And therefore, I'm going to step down, and that's going to happen. And then they're going to say, Gavin. And then Gavin Newsom comes up and he said, Gavin, you said you weren't going to win, or run rather. And he says, no, I said I wasn't going to volunteer, but now my party needs me. And he's going to come up with some reason. Do you hear what's going on? He's going to come up with some reason. Do you understand this? He's going to come up with some reason. That's what's critical. Now, the next thing that's interesting is there was a moment that was the best. And I want you to listen to this. And I want you to pay attention to this. And I want you to focus on this moment. And you can see it on my Twitter where he said, and I'm paraphrasing, the Republicans are trying to set us back into the 60s. They're trying to unravel. They're trying to reverse the progress that we have made with LGBT rights, climate, guns, whatever the thing was. And I thought that was very good. That was good. And that's one thing that the Republicans never do, including Trump, worldview, vision. I asked, what is Trump doing? What is Trump specifically doing? What is he doing? And Trump said, and they said, well, don't you read social media? Sheesh. No, darling. Nobody's reading Truth Social. Nobody cares about it. Nobody cares. Now, just so that you know this, if you had to find somebody that I could deal with, it would be DeSantis. Somebody who really honestly has a better, maybe not the most polished, but I kind of like the way he's thinking. Gavin Newsom is the ideological entity. Be not mistaken. And what he is or what he represents. There's no doubt about that at all. As an opponent, he's very good. You should have heard Nixon years ago talk about Teddy Kennedy. Nixon was more afraid of Teddy Kennedy than anybody else because he recognized the power that Teddy Kennedy had in terms of natural politics. Okay? That's it. The Republican Party are saying nothing about what they're going to do to secure the vote. Let me put it this way. If the Republicans the Democrats steal the election again, legally, there's nothing anybody's going to be able to do about it. Nothing. You hear what I'm saying? Nothing. There's nothing anybody can do about it. Nothing. And nobody's talking about it because it's Ron and McDaniel. Nobody's talking about that. No lawyer is going to want to share the same fate as that dread, what is her name? Cindy Powell. Oh, dear God, no. Dear God, no. Nobody wants to go through that again. Nobody. That's the number one issue. If I come to you, or you come to me, or then I'm your doctor, and I'm saying, if you don't stop smoking, you're going to get COPD or emphysema or cancer or worse. I'm not trying to be a mean person. I'm telling you the truth. You would appreciate what I'm saying. But when it comes to politics, people say, do not violate, do not veer from my worldview. I want to hear what's going on. I heard this morning in the background, when I tell you I heard 2 minutes of it, it was this attempt of the Fox News, let's send the reporter out to ask people what they think. And it is just such a waste of time. 340 whatever days until the election. And Republicans have this idea that, wow, this is great. Now, remember, Fox News, if you're one of those folks, they hate Trump. Trump is wasting his time. He should have a news set up every single day. Somebody should say, Mr. President, we're going to write today. Do you see what's happening in Israel? Have you figured that one out? No. Anybody? they're making more and more claims against Hamas that are just, did they say tattooing? Branding. They're now saying, I heard something in the background that Hamas is branded. This is relative of freed captives say Hamas branded child. Barbaric Hamas terrorists accused of branding 2 teenage boys with a motorcycle exhaust to stop them escaping. Okay, you notice how it changes? It Now I'm not, this is absolutely beyond barbaric. I understand this, but this is what's going on right now. Hamas tortured and brandished child hostages with motorcycle exhaust. Isn't that interesting? And I don't know enough about this. Not burned them, not tortured them, not punished them, branded them, tattooed them via this. So this is going on right now. Nobody dares even gets near this. As we speak, this is one of the most interesting stories of them all. There is a move away from Biden from his most ardent supporters. And this is critical. This is critical. And the reason why it's critical is that this is what is he going to do? What is I would have done if I were what's his face? DeSantis. I would have done everything I can to pull to get him on the record. The left detests Israel. Absolutely. They despise Israel, Bibi. They are pro-Palestinian. 100%. You ain't seen nothing yet. How is he going to negotiate that? And it's not going to be just Hamas. I mean Gaza. It's going to be for the rest of time. How is he going to do this? This is a very critical thing that's happening right now. And Donald Trump, everywhere he goes, should have a camera, should have imagine this. Oh, this would be such beautiful. He would have a camera and he would say, my fellow Americans, thank you for watching. Forgive the surroundings. I'm in the attorney's lounge, or I'm in the backseat of our truck. I'm waiting for this. I am, instead of being able to travel the land to explain to you my vision, our vision for a better America, I'm forced to handle a number of trials. This trial, don't forget the documents trial, don't forget the J6 trial. I mean, they are through lawfare, basically crushing and cutting me off. I'm being held hostage. Now, he's got to be very careful with that. But I'm being held hostage by virtue of this. But I want to take this opportunity to tell you when I believe in America and I believe in the worldview. And I believe, and while he's in the courtroom, while he can point to the pillars of equal justice, America is only America if everyone benefits from our ability to recognize and appreciate the laws, no matter who you are, no matter your sexuality, no matter your color, no matter where you're from, no matter. Now that's the LGBT reference. That's the LGBT. Nobody gets near it. Nobody gets near it. DeSantis loves to say, and I told Disney, screw you. And do you think America cares about Disney? Do you think America cares? No. Let me let you in on something, okay? Let me let you in on something. Listen to me carefully. There is right now, and once I point this out to you, Mrs. L brought it up because we call her the Nancy Drew. She notices things like you cannot believe. Okay. There is a return this year more than ever, a return to tradition, families, parades, trees. What are some of the other ones? Yeah, Mrs. L last night had a meeting, Rockefeller Center, where the tree is, a famous tree. It is so packed with people, love families. My friends, this is it. This should have been the focus. This should have been the focus. And remember something, when you're running for office, you say things a million times, and then maybe they'll pay attention to it. I believe in family. I believe in, and this, go for this, in safety. You want to talk about law and order? You want to talk about law and order? What are you going to do? You're going to do the usual way? You're going to talk about what? You're going to talk about how to lock people up? No, we all know that. I need 200 likes, my friends. What's going on with you? I want you and your family to live in a country where you can feel safe. Where you can feel safe. Where you can know that you have enough police, trained police, who respect the law, who respect the foundations of the Constitution, and who are. And you say this, and you say this, and you say this. And you've got to tell Trump, stick to this message of a grand picture. Don't talk about specifics. LGBTQ, I've got news for you. I wanted to say something to you. Nobody cares about this. The Democrats theoretically care about it, but they really don't. There is no LGBT, really, discrimination in this country. I hate to say it. You know it and I know it. Now, there's discrimination of all kinds, whether you're short or fat or you have an accent or whether you wear glasses or don't. We all understand this. But that ship has sailed. Nobody's even talking about that. Transgender, no. And the thing about it is that what drives people the craziest. You should have seen one day. I know a person who is a real purported lefty, whose kids go to private schools and, that kind of thing. And this person was talking about, I forget what it was. Well, it turns out this person's daughter or son, I forget, is looking for a scholarship in some sport or whatever. So when I said, I think it's wonderful that we have transgender athletes, she looked at me like, what are you even talking about? Yeah, transgender. Transgender. Yeah, transgender. That's good, isn't it? No, wait. What? Because her daughter or son was trying to get on this squash team or whatever, tennis or lacrosse, or I don't know what it was. And this daughter was going to be clobbered by some guy. Well, see, it hit home. And I said, isn't equality wonderful? Isn't diversity, equity, and equality? Wait a minute. When she felt it, when she felt the sting of this, everything changed. Everything changed. Do you hear what I'm saying? So Trump has to turn to people and say, do you really want equality? Do you want to be treated for your talents, your abilities, your contribution? We are a country that loves and appreciates excellence and accomplishment and ability. You cannot replace ability with deservedness, so to speak. You want the best surgeon, not the surgeon who has been through the most struggle. You can't say it like that, but the point of this is he can do this every single day. And what happens is you have him for a very short amount of time, and you have somebody say, and your goal is to have Trump say something, because remember, this Trump, this Fox News crowd, they're going to love him no matter what. And then you have these other people like the Tucker crowds. I don't even know what this guy is. I don't know what we're talking about. I think Tucker's just trying to land. Let me stop for 1 second. Please don't confuse social media with politics. Please don't confuse social media with what's going on in this world. I've been listening again to the history of Watergate, which I can listen to every single day. And I'm listening to old speeches and old interviews with Nixon about foreign policy and the like. And we didn't have social media then. You don't remember this, but during the Watergate hearings, there was not a moment. There was not a place you could go, not a cab, not a. It was like nothing you've ever seen. I need 300 likes, my friends. I need 300 likes. I know. Anyway, there was not a place you could go where people were not glued to the Watergate hearing. Glued. Most incredible thing anybody's ever seen. The Watergate hearings. Glued. It's the only game in town. And at night, Dick Cavett would devote his reference to it. Johnny Carson, everything. Do you think we would see that today? No. We didn't have social media. We didn't have it. It was in a day when people cared so much and they recognized. And if you think they hated Trump, Nixon, 10 soldiers and Nixon coming. Remember a great song by Chicago called To Richard and All His Friends? Hey, now would you go away? We're so tired of the things that you say, even though you never said a word that would help anyone. But anyway, Chicago 4 from Carnegie Hall. Anyway, I've lived through this. I've seen this is what America used to do without social media. And social media have, media is a plural now. It destroyed our ability to critically think. It destroyed our ability to critically think. I'm saying this again. So just remember this very, very carefully. Sit back for 1 second, my friends, and listen. In 24 days is Christmas. 24 days. And that's why it's important and critical for you to listen to our good friends at mypillow.com and the inimitable, the ineffable, the intellectually and morally unassailable Mike Lindell with these important words. Let me tell you about my great friends at mypillow.com. Mypillow.com. And by the way, use promo code Lionel. Use promo code Lionel and receive a free gift. No purchase necessary. And yes, I realize that gifts are free. It's a tautology. Get over it. Sue me. So what are we talking about? How about Giza Dream bed sheets, My Pillow 2.0, sheets, slippers, percales, towels, quilts, bedspreads, mattresses, mattress covers, mattress toppers, linens, kitchen towels, bathrobes, name it. Items to luxuriate and relax. And don't forget, Christmas is just around the corner. And yes, it makes a great stocking stuffer, and it's fine for dad or grad. Made by the greatest company from the greatest people in the greatest country. Or call 800-645-4965 if you're OG and see how quickly Mike Lindell answers the phone. 800-645-4965. But don't forget, only use promo code Lionel. That's mypillow.com. Promo code Lionel. Mypillow.com. Promo code Lionel. All right, my friends. Now, let me review much of what you have been attempting to say this morning, which is very, very important, very, very critical. Peter says, I think Gavin Newsom will be the POTUS come 2025. He'll step in for Biden and will win. There won't be a Republican POTUS in a generation. That's very interesting. Iran-Contra, question mark. War crimes of the Netanyahu's regime shall be prosecuted. Unlike Kissinger, Netanyahu's acts and conducts are justiciable. He won't be tried, but there are many, many people who believe, for a variety of reasons, and we'll talk about this later, why the Israeli government has committed war crimes, and they're not to be taken loosely. However, if nobody is going to prosecute you, it does, in fact, become a moot, okay? Parents care. Disney movies are now gross. Oh, I agree with you. It's too inside, though. I traveled during Thanksgiving and met so many decent, kind, respectful, family-oriented folks. I never saw a Karen or a wire people. Oh, I'm with you, Angelica. You know what? We see this on a regular basis. This is the best part of it. The average American, the average American is a really good person. Where are the likes, my friends? Come on. I need 300 likes. What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you? What's going on here? Think about this. When you talk about crime, remember something. When you were on Fox News, by the way, can I please just say something? Would you please provide, I don't want to name names, can you please provide some form of remedial education to some certain hosts and commentators to pluralize nouns, to pronounce words like attorney general? I mean, just can you help somebody? Because yes, I don't want to be, but we're gonna. Accents are one thing. You can take Paul and hey y'all. You know, there's a woman who's a comic. I don't know if you've seen her. Her act is so old, it gets old so fast. She's like a middle-aged, like a regular hey y'all. My husband comes home at night and he just sits on the couch. Okay. It's over with so fast. I got it. But she speaks correctly. She says the words, has an accent, but the words, if you, we used to have this in court all the time. Stenographers would write down what they think people were saying. And I'm sorry. We had a witness one time who said, I ain't nothing but a right. Now, I don't know what that means, but and sometimes they would write indecipherable. You have to write down what people say, irrespective of the accent. If somebody says, I come here, the guy told me that the guy. Now, if you are a stenographer, you better write, I come. He didn't say come, he said come. I come he. He didn't say here. He said, now you know what he's saying. So we get into that kind of a thing. It's an old kind of a semantic argument that nobody cares to think about. Your point is well taken, though. Americans are very, very rational people. Very, 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 very rational people. And there are people all over the world there are people who say, listen, I know somebody in particular. This is so funny. Until something hits you home, until something hits home with you, you don't really get it. We knew somebody one time who was the prototypical bumper sticker liberal type, okay? And she would talk about African Americans and people of color. We're talking about DEI. I'm saying, listen, nobody should be denied anything because of their race or their ethnicity or their gender or their sex or their sexual preference. Nobody. But nobody should be given something because of it. That's equity. Is not even equity. It's a, you don't understand. Go, no, you don't understand. You don't get what's going on here. Okay, cut to the chase. She gets out in the real world. She is extremely qualified in terms of academics and the like. And she loses out to everyone. So I said, I want you to look at this. It was I'm not going to be too specific. They might be listening, but it was a kind of a corporate decision. I said, I want you to look at everybody who's here. Look at all the people who were vying for your position. Look around and ask yourself a question. Do you notice any commonalities? Do you notice anything? Do you notice or see anything in this group that makes you think like, do you? Well, do you? And they said, well, yeah, I do see something. Well, what do you see? And she couldn't say it at first until she was bounced. Until she became the she worked for someone who was clearly unqualified and there for reasons other than ability. And that's all I'm going to say. Okay? Okay? All right? Okay. That's where we are. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? So when people are themselves in the position where they recognize or they are told specifically how where how do I say this? When people find themselves in the position of being told sort of what reality is, they change their mind. And I'm telling you right now, there is a move. You can see it. There are more people, they didn't tell you this, there are more people who appreciate going into stores. I told you recently I went to this Costco and it changed my mind. It changed my life. I've never seen. And I'm looking around these people and said, do you think that these folks know where Gaza is? Do they believe in LGBTQIA and DEI and Black Lives Matter? Nope. And many of them were lower income, people of color, etc., etc., etc. Believe me when I'm saying this. Do you hear what I'm saying? I know what I'm saying, my friends. I know what's going on, and I know what is happening regarding my world. Okay? That's all I want to say. Now, what I want to do in addition to everything else is to put you into the driver's seat and tell you specifically that when you look at this, when you really rationally review what is happening, please take what you want and what you like and remove it from the equation. That's all I am saying. Remove it from the equation. That is all I want to say to you. Okay? Say something. I'd like everybody to listen to my discussion. I can't believe we say things. I'm just as I'm about to say something, Mrs. L will say the same thing. May I say who her, huh? Mrs. L did the best interview yesterday with Kat DeLorean. Does that name sound familiar? DeLorean. This is John DeLorean was her father. This is one of the best interviews. I put the link right there for you. I put the link. Yes, I want you to listen to this and I want you to subscribe to Mrs. L. But watch this video. It is so wonderful to see two intelligent women speaking, but about issues that are so critical. Her father, by the way, just as an aside, whenever the subject of entrapment comes up, people have this idea that entrapment means the police coming along and catching you. You know, somebody standing on the corner, a woman pretending to be a prostitute. You go, well, when prostitution was against the law, you come up and say, hey, do you want a party? And they say, what? And you say, that was entrapment. No, that wasn't really entrapment. That was something else. If ever you want to see true entrapment, look at what the government did to her father. That is entrapment. That is when they get you to do something you had no predisposition or inclination to do in the first place. That's what that means. That is what that means. So please, dear friends, also what she's doing with the legacy, it is for children. Watch this. Just promise me. It is, as soon as we're done, go right to this link. I was listening yesterday. We were doing it. It's brilliant. And make sure, let me do this right now. Let me give this to you because you need this. I'm going to give you Mrs. L's. Hang on a minute. There we go. This is her. This is so simple. This is the link to her. Just click on this and you will go immediately to her YouTube channel and it will link it. It is so important, so critical. One more time. And also, dear friends, as you know, it is very critical for you. I keep saying critical. I think critical is a critical word. There is a very important Lynn's Warriors on X or Twitter. By the way, listen very carefully to a great interview recently with Mr. Musk regarding what he is, because he is very, very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. In any event, dear friends, do yourself a favor. And I want you to go and I want you to follow Mrs. L right here right here on our show, right here. This is her Twitter account. Okay. You understand that? Critical. This is what I ask you. But watch this video, and ladies in particular, I'm sorry. Remember great talk show? I don't want to say, you're going to think I'm crazy. Virginia Graham, Dinah Shore. Virginia Graham, Dinah Shore. When women would do talk shows, it would be like Merv Griffin. When people would talk, and you would just be, you would think that you're listening to just two great people. That's what this is. So please, I ask you that. I thank you for your time and your effort. Get ready. And let me tell you something. I'm going to make you the smartest person. Not that you're not smart, but I'm going to teach you how to think. That is my goal. I want you to know how to critically think. All right? Okay. All right, dear friends, have a great and a glorious day. Don't ever change. I mean that sincerely. And until tonight at 7 p.m., remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya.